Yo, I've been eyeballing you all day. Looking all fine and shit. I wanna lick you down.
Is that chili?
I like the onions you got going on right there. Nah, baby, it's all right.
Okay. So what they have to do is, because when you get your license, you have to take a class, and you have to go to the range, and you got to shoot.
Is it a shooting test?
Yeah, it's a. Hold on, let me read this real quick. Okay. So when you apply for your license, where'd you go? There you go. When you apply for a license, you have to. It's like a weekend class. It's like a certain amount of hours and classroom time and
Range time.
range time. And then when you take the range test, you got to take. It's like a target, and you have to hit so many times. You have to do like 1 shot, 3 shots, whatever, and you have to hit the target so many times. And then if you have enough points, then you pass like the field part, and then you have a test at the end of. You have to go to the classroom for I think 8 hours, whatever, and then after that you take a test, and then after you do all that, you submit your application, and then you got to go get your fingerprints done for a federal background check. And then after you submit all that, then you get your license. And then renew is a little. Say again.
So if you fail the shooting test, do you get to take it again?
I'm sure you can, but I don't know how. I don't know if you get to take it the same day. It probably is like. I'm sure there's some sort of you have to take the class again or something. I'm sure.
Right on.
But I don't know. And then to renew it, they use your old. You have to go online, just like doing your driver's license.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
Cool. And so what kind of gun did you use to test when you got your concealed handgun license? Was it a revolver or automatic or bazooka?
Yeah, no, semi-automatic. They don't really care. There are specifications. Got to be a handgun of a certain caliber, I think. But actually, the gun I used, I bought it from my instructor while I was there.
Oh, that's cool.
I had brought another one, but he was selling, and he's the instructor, super nice guy. He's retired. He was the range instructor for Bexar County Sheriffs.
Okay.
He was a retired Bexar County Sheriff, all that stuff. So, and then I think he worked for Northside Police Department for a long time. So, so he was there. He's like, hey, I got a few guns, I'm trying to get rid of. So I was like, okay. And he had a Glock 43, which is a little 9mm.
Right on.
So that's what I used.
That's cool. So I couldn't use like a Gatling gun if I were ever to take the.
I don't know.
Bazooka?
Depends on what county you're in. We're in Bexar County, so probably not. It's a blue county, but maybe Atascosa County you probably could.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. Gatling gun. That would be good.
I'd just rather use a real machine gun.
Yeah, exactly. Or go old school and musket.
Yeah. Have
Yeah.
you ever shot a machine gun?
Huh?
Have you ever shot a machine like a full auto?
No, I've never shot a machine gun. I've shot a shotgun. I've shot a automatic or semi-automatic, whatever, like a 9mm, and then some revolvers. I hung off the side of a helicopter once, but it was on display. It wasn't like in the air.
You can do that. Because feral hogs are vermin,
Yes.
So there's no hunting season. It's year round.
Man, I'll tell you
And
what.
you can go get on a helicopter and use a machine gun and fucking pay to do that.
I'll tell you what, man. I think that I'm not saying that we're gonna do it. I think that we should entertain the. Have you done it?
I've never done that. No, I
Have you
want to.
anybody that has done it?
Yeah, my father-in-law,
Okay.
one of his nephews, because they're from Lavernia, so
Okay.
they're out in the country a little bit. And
Lavernia English, that's Lavernia, right?
say again, Lavernia,
Lavernia
yeah.
is Lavernia.
For our non-Spanish speaking,
Podcasters, yeah.
but his nephew, he's like a country boy. You know, he's probably in his mid-20s. He's done all types of crazy shit. And I believe he's done that. I believe people pay him to do that.
Dude. So
because it's vermin.
now you changed you changed the way you were talking when you said he's a country boy.
Well, that's how he talks.
Oh, okay.
The country boy.
Okay.
If I said he's from New York, I'd be like, he's a New Yorker, you know?
Exactly. Charlie Schwartz. Charlie Schwartz, New York State.
Hey there, sweet tits.
Exactly. Hey, liver lips. Hey, so it's funny that you're talking about handguns and all that, because man, I'll tell you what, it's been over 2 weeks since we spoke.
Mm-hmm.
And our last podcast we talked about the quagmire, the very difficult circumstances surrounding the protests occurring in our country right now.
Yeah.
With Corona in the background and trying
on the foreground, shit.
In the foreground, yeah, exactly. And trying to navigate these times, you know, and trying to be healthy, right? Lose weight, you know, it's very difficult.
Right.
And so you're talking about going and shooting javelina and this and that, or feral hogs, whatever. I don't know if they take
feral
offense
hogs.
to, I don't know if they take offense to being called feral.
The hogs, they do. They don't like to be called javelinas. Take extreme offense to.
Javelina, yeah, I got you. And so you know, this notion of waste and this notion of you know, being more mindful, you know, I haven't shared this information up until today.
Okay.
But a while back, my family, we started to we bought some chickens, right? And we liked the idea of having fresh eggs and
Oh yeah, that's awesome. I would love to do that.
Dude, it's amazing. It's an awesome experience.
So like my Lavernia, my father-in-law's parents' mother, they own a cattle farm, and then the mother, the cattle farm, cattle.
Okay. Yeah.
Meat. And then they also have chickens. And I have fresh eggs in my fridge right now. I get fresh eggs probably like once a month.
Okay, there you go. So it's a great thing, and you know, to kind of connect with where, you know, at least partially where our food comes from, has been pretty major. And so unfortunately we made the decision to slaughter them. And
oh, y'all did?
Let me explain, because there's a number of factors that go into this.
Okay.
The first is that one of our neighbors happens to have a large amount of dogs, and like 10 dogs, right? Just living in bad conditions, and
right.
You know, we're helping them to find homes for them, but it's just a very bad situation. And so we've been dealing with a number of things, such as fleas, right? Coming over from their yard to our yard.
Yeah, that sucks.
Which we have pest control, but
if you're the only one doing it,
dude, exactly. You know, if they're not doing anything about those, you know, dogs and whatever. So, you know, and then it turns out that this is fairly embarrassing.
One of their dogs get you pregnant or what?
We decided we're gonna keep the dog. We're gonna keep the litter. No, And so this is kind of embarrassing, but I think it has something to do with that, and I think it has something to do with the fact that we were trying to compost our organics in the back, where the chickens hang out. We had fenced off the area,
Yeah.
and then coupled with, we had brush collection recently, and the same neighbors cleared a bunch of their trees, and as a result, and it could have also been the conditions, whatever, that my house, maybe needed attention, whatever, but my wife and kids were eating breakfast recently, and I forget, I think I was at work, and my wife calls me and says, "Hey, a rat just ran across the basement floor." And I've experienced mice in the past,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah. But to see a fucking 12-inch rat is fucking sucks.
it's night and day. And so, I figured that she exaggerated,
Right.
oh, a big rat, whatever. I said, okay, cool, whatever.
Right.
So, dude, for the last 3 or 4 weeks, we have been cleaning and filling holes on every spot, and making repairs and doing everything you're supposed to do.
Right.
Setting traps, it was crazy. One morning I woke up, and there was just a rat hanging out in our little laundry room, and I saw him, and he didn't like scurry away or anything. Just terrible, terrible,
Yeah.
and
Horrible.
it was awful. And so we're calling these different places, trying to figure out what to do, whatever. And so like I said, we started plugging up all the holes ourselves and doing this and that, whatever. Finally, I bought this electric zapper that I was reading the box at
Yeah.
the store.
They're expensive.
That, dude, let me tell you, I read it and I said, okay, this thing's $60, but it's gotta be something
Right.
that works, whatever.
Right.
Man, that sucks. Nothing. It has not worked at all, and I used it exactly.
Oh, it hasn't worked?
Hasn't worked. But what has worked is the biggest rat trap, the snap trap.
The big black thing?
Dude, the big one.
That's a monster.
Oh
Yeah.
my! And so when I got it,
I've used one of those, and I was one time I was trying to do it, and it got my finger, and it fucking cut skin.
dude, yeah, I know. And you know what? Here's what's crazy. Is so I started using them, and we got one, right? We got one, and it was huge. It was big. And so, I bagged it up, whatever, and threw it out, and it was a different experience because it was bigger.
Right.
In the past, if we had a mouse in the house, whatever, not
Right.
but growing up, you trap, or you set a little trap and you kill it, whatever. That's it. This, we're dealing with the neighbors, we're dealing with the fact that we have chickens,
Right.
a compost, this, that, and the other.
Right.
And we're trying to, we're taking a little road trip, and so we're trying to prep for that as well. Still trying to do X, Y, and Z, and it's crazy, right? And so we saw that they were actually coming in through where the air condition is,
Okay.
that access, that door. And so we set up some traps, whatever, and there's a little ledge there. Okay. We had checked the traps and nothing. Later, we open it up because we realized that we gotta just check it, and there's a rat there that had, it got caught, huge rat, and its tail is going like this, and I'm just like freaking out because I'm thinking to myself, I can't get him while he's alive. I gotta wait till he's dead.
No,
But
use the hammer.
oh yeah, I was gonna club him. No, and so I got him into a box and threw him out, and I would say in total we probably killed, I don't know, 4 or 5 of them total.
Wow.
Big suckers, but we didn't know, how many
Right.
are there. They're probably still, we're still getting pest treatment, whatever. But a part of it is those other conditions that I was explaining, not being, the best of conditions to contend with. And like you're saying,
Right.
if you're not doing anything about it, then so it's been very difficult. But I will tell you this: when my sons are joking around in the music room, and so when I saw that rat moving, right, the tail was just going. It was just going around in circles. I looked at it and it made me sick to my stomach, dude. Because the thing is we have such a huge disconnect between what we buy at the store, the things that we consume in every situation, where those things originate from, just disconnect, right? And so it just so turns out that I was on Facebook, and one of my friends shared a story about this place called Alamo Farms here in the South Side, that is a meat processing place. It literally, I saw it and it said we'll process whatever meat you bring in, whatever. And I thought, dude, perfect, because we're going out of town soon. And so I said, okay, so I'll take I'll call and see. Maybe they don't. Maybe they. It didn't say that specifically, but I called to check. And so the guy says, yeah, bring them in and we'll slaughter them. And I literally had looked it up that morning.
Right.
I was reading about all the things you have to do. Like, you have to have a constant stream of water ready to go. You have to do something so that the feathers come out easier, and this and that.
Right.
And I just thought, oh man, this is gonna be a nightmare. This is gonna be a nightmare, right? And so when I called this place and they said, yeah, we'll do it for you, I thought, man, this is a godsend, because it's just like, I was gonna do it, but I didn't know how I was going to contend with all the things you have to do, having never done it before.
Right.
And so I thought, okay, well, this is going to save me a great deal of trouble. So I go, and so they literally opened up the day before. This was yesterday. Wow. So they had opened up Wednesday, right? And I just thought, man, perfect timing, right? Because I just, I was afraid to do it. And what would have sucked is if I did it and totally messed it up and butchered it and whatever, and then find out that this place exists right down the street, not too far. But I go over there. Hey! Stop that! So I go over there, and the guy's like, yeah. So I tell him, I said, well, where do I take it? This and then he said, well, just bring it over here, and you can come in the back with us, and you can watch us do it. And I thought, oh, can I take pictures?
Yeah.
And he said, you can take pictures of everything, but the actual slaughtering, right? Like the back and everything. And I thought, man, this is straight out of Upton Sinclair, The Jungle. Getting the killing floor. You're there. You see it. They'll do rabbits, chickens, anything that they offer. And see, I thought about it. I said, you can do this guy. And so hey! And so I'm there, and I've got him in a crate. He grabs one, and he pulls the neck down, whatever, and he slices the throat right there in front of me. And blood squirts, whatever, and then he throws it in this little thing so that the blood drains out.
Yeah.
This particular slaughter or processing place is halal, right?
Right.
And apparently halal is a hey! Stop it! It's
a method of
it's a method of killing an animal that is blessed,
right?
That is deemed clean and worthy of doing it, right?
Right.
And I believe it's rooted in the Muslim belief system.
Right.
And so a part of it is the way in which they do it, where they drain the blood and this and that. I've seen videos. I've seen old PETA videos. I've seen old videos of people who sneak cameras into slaughterhouses and chicken places, and the way that they're mistreated in order to keep up with the demand. You know, kicking them, you know, killing them, throwing them against the wall, whatever, right? And so I understand the humane part of doing it this way.
Right.
Having said that, I'm a changed man. I can tell you that completely sincerely. Seeing that and the process where they threw it in there, the blood drains, and they don't show. They do it one at a time because they don't want the other ones to see that they're doing that, right? And so they drain the blood. Then they put them in this thing that rotates them, and it's real hot, and it basically preps them for this other machine that strips them of all their feathers.
Wow.
This is all in about 5 minutes time, right? Then they take them to this other room where they got them, and they take out the guts and the innards and the eggs that are half developed that would have been laid, you know.
Right.
And they even found an egg that was fully developed that I took and that you know hadn't been laid yet.
Wow.
And so I'll tell you, man. I don't come in here. I cooked them today. I cooked them today, and so what we had read was that this particular style of bird, which was a Rhode Island red, right, is kind of gamey and, you know, it's not very tender and this and that. They looked great. They looked amazing.
Right.
But it was definitely not. They were smaller, you know, than you would see like in the store. Definitely not what I thought it was going to be. And what it cemented for me was this disconnect. You know, I've fished in my life,
Right.
never hunted, but I will say that I've always been a mindless eater. Not as gracious and as appreciative as I wish I was, that I aim to continue to be, and so this experience totally changed me. I just the other day I had already said I felt inclined to move away from eating as much meat as I had been eating because. You know, despite, you know, the keto diet and despite people saying, you know, despite foods that are you know, high in protein and avoiding carbs, you know, extremism, as we've said, is very difficult to support, right? My aunt had a terrible amount of gallstones in a few months back and had to have them removed, and it was terrible, whatever. And she was told it was because you eat too much fat, too much fat in your diet, whatever. And so, you know, it makes me think, you know, too much meat, right? It makes me think, you know, okay, so then if I were to embrace a keto diet, eating all this meat, there has to be consequences from that, right?
Right.
And so I knew that, but in doing so, right, it's such a difference when you slaughter the food or the animals that you intend on eating. And so I know that, and the ironic thing is that I've eaten meat since, but it's more about a philosophy, and I'll tell you why. Because this is just in the last 2 days.
Okay.
The philosophy is this: we had some leftovers that nobody was going to eat, and I didn't want to just throw that away. Get out of here! we had some leftovers that I didn't want to just throw away, right? And so, get out of here. Put some underwear on. And so I ate them because I didn't want to be wasteful, right?
Yeah, it's like they sacrifice their lives for you.
Exactly, right, exactly. And so that's kind of a part of. It's almost like in the past, I used to justify eating my kids' leftover food because I didn't want to be wasteful. One of the tactics that I've employed in this pursuit of health is sporadically, right? Skipping dinner, right? I'll still cook dinner, but I'll skip eating, right? Just every once in a while, whatever, right? Not regularly, whatever.
Right.
Just to kind of help, if I'm plateauing or whatever. And so, eating the leftovers or get out of here, out. Eating the leftovers of whatever's left over from dinner, if it's not going to be the main thing is that I want to be more appreciative of. Get out of here. Out of here. I want to be more appreciative of the food that I eat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've had a garden for a while, and or we've had a garden for a while, and I locked the door, and now they're. And it hasn't yielded very much, but it makes you appreciate what we do have.
So I got one too. Hey, real quick. It's right here. Mine doesn't have any. He's only in his underwear too, so it's all good.
Okay. So I just they found a way to unlock it. Get out of here! Get out of here! Get out of here! Kingsley, get him out of here. I'll give you $5.
Oh dang, $5.
Get him out of here.
He's like a wild animal. That's hilarious.
Close the door. Get him out of here. And so, the bottom line is this.
Hey, watch this. Want to see a magic trick?
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, I thought he was coming. Never mind. Sorry. I'm totally lost, but I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Well, like these guys.
Being mindful of what you're eating.
These guys, right? My sons, they've fished a little bit, but not a whole lot. They're still kind of getting older, or getting familiar with it. and so, what's up, dude? Yo,
being invaded.
Come on, buddy. How you doing?
Y'all's hair is about the same.
I know. Hang on, they're gonna come in a second. Come in.
Got it. Kingsley and Anderson. Look at it. See that?
Hey, Malachi's there. Okay, get out of here. Anyway, the idea is just to be more mindful,
Right.
But and you know what, man? My goal now is to be a vegetarian eventually. But for right now, I feel like aiming to be a pescatarian is more realistic.
Yeah, I was vegan. I did veganism. I tried it for about 8 weeks.
How could you?
I know. I did it for about 8 weeks. It was fucking hard, Charlie.
Veganism, I'm sure, is a lot harder than vegetarianism.
It was very hard.
I want to continue to eat eggs and cheese, but I mean, maybe, I guess the idea is at some point
We lost control. We lost control.
Yep.
Okay, now you gotta talk, Anderson.
Okay, get out of here.
Serious, stop! Serious!
Anyway,
I tried being a vegan. It was tough, and I didn't do it out of some like save the world,
sure.
thing, it was more like I was just trying to like detox, kind of, same
Sure.
thing. Just didn't want to eat as much meat.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
But believe it or not, for me, it was the more difficult. It was probably the most difficult thing I've ever had to do because it's very difficult to find food.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you can't go anywhere. You have to eat at home, basically.
Yeah, I know. But now, so here's the thing: is I think that with that being the ultimate goal, get him out of here. Take him to mom's room, mom and dad's room. That's so funny. Take him to mom and dad's room. It's just one of those things, man. Let's see. Is this a magic trick?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see it.
Ready?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Are you just being my screen?
Uh-huh.
He's just
I'm
being,
in your
he's
screen.
being my background.
Oh, okay. It's good, dude. Magic the Gathering. These guys are gonna barge in a second. But
Magic.
Okay.
Magic.
Okay. Let us finish. Thank you. All right. I'm almost done. Almost done.
Some of my burping screen.
Okay. Burping screen. Thank you. Here, put this on. All right.
Ow.
I think that being so detached from where our food comes from, it makes it easy to be mindless. And I'm not looking to save the world with, everybody should be a vegetarian. I'm saying for me right now where I'm at, respecting where our food comes from, right?
Right.
Especially meat.
Right.
I've evolved in my perception of it. And here's the thing is, I would love to hunt. I would love to do that and go through that process. It's very primitive.
Right.
Even though I would probably use a rifle, in that process, or a bow and arrow. I've always wanted to bow fish, that would be great. But it's all a part of the evolution. And I feel like just having an open mind, because here's the thing, dude. If 250 pounds ago, I would have said, you know what, I'm going to be vegetarian. I couldn't have done it at that time because I was so, you know what I'm saying? So the processes change, the mindset change. So you were a vegan for 8 weeks, and you said it was very difficult.
It was very, very difficult.
What about vegetarian?
Well, I'm addictive personality. To me, I'm one of those people that's all in. So like to me, it's like.
You need to get out.
Stop, Andy!
Come on, get out, dude. We're trying to finish this up.
Come
Dude. Keep him out of here. You're an addictive personality and what?
Well, like to me, it's like this is why I don't drink, because I can't have one or two. So vegetarian to me, like in my brain, like, well, I can have cheese.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, well, cheese is kind of like, it's kind of like meat, right? It comes from dairy. It's, or like you're saying pescatarian, for me, it's easy, like, well, I'm already eating protein. What's the difference between eating chicken? And then all of a sudden I'm just back to my normal. So to me, it's like, I'd rather just do all or nothing when I do those type of things. And so, and it was an experiment. I tried it to see how it went. At the time I was in a better shape. It was probably about 10 years ago or so. And I was a lot, really good shape. And I was just trying to get lean. I was like, you know what, I'm going to try going vegan and, eating no, and see if it makes a difference in my body. It made a big difference as far as how I felt, and it wasn't good. For me, my reaction, the way my body took it, I was fucking miserable.
Yeah.
I was miserable. And you know how I broke the fast, the vegan? So it was Michaela's birthday. And she was turning, I believe, at the time, 16, I believe. So we invited a whole bunch of friends and family, and we went to Big Lou's Pizza. Well, we get there, and they wouldn't let us sit down until we ordered a pizza, until the pizza was ready. We wanted to order that big-ass, they make that, like, huge pizza.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, you can order it, but you can't sit down. You can't get on the waiting list until it's ready. So it's like, so we like wait an hour to make it and then wait an hour to sit down. So I just like, man, fuck you. Like, I'm not going to wait. So we ended up going to Peter Piper Pizza down the street on the south side, right? And then everybody's eating pizza and I'm eating some shitty salad. And so I was like, fuck it. And I just started eating sausage pizza. So like 8 weeks of not eating meat, then instantly it was over. I was like, fuck it. But it's because I was for me, it was just miserable. Like I was just, everything was not, it wasn't just about the hard to find food or how to, like having to be real thoughtful of where I go eat. You know, my family's kind of put out because like, oh, let's go get something over here. It's like, well, shit, I'm limited to literally lettuce because like there's nothing else I can eat. And then the second part of that was that way I felt. For me, man, I felt I lost a lot of weight, but I lost a lot of body mass. Because at the time I was lifting weights pretty heavily, and I probably weighed about 220, 215, and I was pretty lean, and I dropped down to like 205, and I wasn't any stronger. I was like feeling weaker, like I don't know. And I've juiced. I've done juice fasts, and I do a juice fast. I feel fucking fantastic. I feel like a new person when I do a juice fast. So I don't know. It was just weird. Like for me, it just didn't work. I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah. There was something in the seeing that dead rat. There was something in seeing the throat slit. There was something in cooking and consuming that, those chickens.
Yeah, you stepped into your ancestors, like your Indian, your native ancestors, right then, man.
Well, it's funny because I used to watch Survivor. When I had TV, I don't have TV these days, and every once in a while, like they would find a chicken or they would get a chicken and they would cook it, whatever, and they would eat every ounce of it, everything that was edible. And I can tell you right now that I'm very familiar with every cavity of a chicken, every piece, every morsel.
Yep.
And I understand a little bit more now about the gratitude I want to have about everything related to food.
Right.
I feel like, there's this mindlessness amongst many of us, amongst many people about their food. And I feel
our whole American culture, man. Like,
yeah,
we're the #1 obese country in the world.
yeah,
Because we have the most of the worst food.
yeah, man. And I'll tell you what, if eating less meat for right now, right? If eating less meat because I'm also not going to be wasteful, like I was saying. If eating less meat helps contribute to improving things, right? In a small way, great, right?
Right.
On top of that, I want my sons to be mindful of that as well,
Right.
And so it's just trying to reconnect, like you're saying, with the tradition of this process, right? And I'm totally sold on for right now eating less meat, eating no meat. I love cheese, I love eggs, so I probably would never go vegan. But 250 pounds ago, I would have never even considered what I'm considering now, or what I'm gonna do now, what I've begun to do.
So the guy that made Super Size Me, Morgan Spurlock,
Yeah.
he made another documentary about chicken. and at the top of my head, I can't think of it, but it's the second one he's done, the second major documentary, and it's about exactly what you're talking about, the process of how chicken gets to our table.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth the watch, and I highly recommend watching it. I believe it's on Netflix or Amazon Prime or something, so check it out.
I will.
It's amazing. It's amazing how chicken gets to our table, let alone beef. I don't imagine.
Oh man. Yeah, exactly. But I would say that everything, like you're a candy man. The price of sugar, I mean, just sugar itself, is something that is, a lot of effort required to harvest and whatever. I think everything, is relevant in this pursuit of health, including being more gracious and mindful of where our food comes from and the food waste that occurs, despite the fact that there are many food insecure households in our country and around the world. And so, I think it's just something that is helping. It will help me, I believe, get to where I want to be. So,
I think we always say it comes down to education.
yeah, sure.
As a kid, we're taught the food pyramid, but we don't talk about where our food comes from. We just talk about that this is what you're supposed to eat,
Yeah.
but you don't know where it's coming from, which to me, it's and that's why people don't know any better. I mean, I think people say, oh, since I was little, everybody's told chicken's good for you, right? It's better than red meat,
Yeah.
But if you're eating chicken nuggets, that's not as good as eating a grilled one or eating an organic one or whatever, So it's just educating.
Right on. And I'll tell you what, I think that at some point, if I'm ready to hunt, maybe we'll go get on that.
Whenever you want, man. I always got plenty of places to go. I got a lot of access to that.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, for now, I'll just probably eat less meat and probably table the hunting for now. But I'm glad that we got a chance to speak tonight. I know you're super busy.
Hey, I want to also thank you for coming by today, supporting my business. Appreciate it.
You know what? This time of our life is very difficult with Corona happening, but we try and do what we can, where we can, and I happen to be in the area, and so I wanted to stop in and get a little. And I got to tell you that you definitely have great willpower, surrounded by constant workplace possible snack accidents. So,
dude, it's trust me. Sometimes I have horrible snack accidents. Horrible.
Yeah.
I'll eat a quarter pound of sour belts.
Oh man.
Handful at a time, baby.
Oh,
I'm having those weekdays. I'm like tired. Like,
Yeah.
man, fuck this.
Yeah. I know it, man. I know it. It's crazy. I particularly like those brownies with the nutter butter on them.
They're good.
So
They're
everybody,
dangerous.
exactly. So then I guess between now and the next time we talk, might be a week or two. I know that I've got to. I'm also dealing with a little foot injury that I haven't been able to exercise. But my weight, we haven't even talked about weight.
Right.
I weighed in this morning at 275. My low right now has been 272, 273. So I'm still in the neighborhood of where I've been. I feel like it's all the same plateau. But in this last month, I had a little injury, a wound on my stomach. I couldn't do anything as I had been doing. I cut my foot, sliced my foot, hopping a fence. But I've still been mindful. And here's the thing: is
You're being chased by the police?
I plead the fifth. I'm glad that we're able to take a minute to talk about where we're at. It's a crazy world in which we live, but we have to navigate it nonetheless, right?
Yeah.
And so I appreciate your time. Is there anything you want to add about what you have coming up or anything on the horizon for you?
We do have some stuff coming, but I'm not ready to announce it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think other than say again.
Time and place. You'll
Time and place. Yeah, no, we got some stuff coming up, but again, I want to thank you for coming by. It's good to see you, brother. It's always good to see you.
Absolutely.
I can't wait till we can just get back to normal. Get back together. And then
get you back on the casting couch.
That's right. I got to finish my duties.
Exactly.
But I am going fishing this weekend, so I'll catch you some.
Hey man, I want to see. Share some pics.
Yeah, I'll Rockport.
Okay, good.
Couple days.
Where do you fish there?
I try to get red. I always go for red or trout.
Oh, but I'm saying like, where do you fish?
Oh, I get a condo like on the water, and then.
And you just fish off the condo?
Well, yeah, it's got like a 150-foot private pier.
Oh, perfect, dude.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me check my email because I never got an invitation.
Well, this was my father-in-law invited me this time.
Hell yeah, nice.
Because like last summer I invited them.
Okay, good.
So this summer he invited me. So
badass. Hey man, well I'd love to talk about some other stuff. Do you want to share your weight, or have you weighed in at all? Or no?
Yeah, I've been in the 250s.
Okay.
That's about where I'm either high 250 or low 250. I got about a good 10 pounds that just go up and down.
Okay.
And if I danced around the way these boys do, I'd be skiing like that too, man. Shit.
Well,
No.
So then from when we started, you're still down 25 or 30 pounds, aren't you?
Yeah, we started. I think I was 270 something.
Okay.
272 or something.
30 pounds, yeah.
And I've kept it. I've stayed in the 250. The lowest I got was like 240 something, or like 240 or 230 something. High 230s. So, but I promise you. Am I pointing at your face? I promise you. When we get together again, I'm gonna be down 10.
Okay, good.
I think I was 255.
At some point, I'll probably be able to keep up with you better than I ever have in terms of, if we were to have that opportunity to work out.
Yeah.
I want to go back and throw the slam ball a little bit, at some point or whatever, but despite all the hurdles that we've got in front of us, we're still going to do our best. And I'm glad that we have this chance to get together despite dealing with all of the stresses of life, all the rats. And, man, I'll tell you what, bro. I'm a changed man because of all that, dude. I feel it in the pit of my stomach. It keeps playing in my head and
the tail going around like this.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like up at night and I see it like I looked at the clock on the wall and it was the tail was going around. But anyway, well, you hear the music. I guess that's our show for this week. Or this time. Thank you guys for tuning in. I know that we've got like 70 some odd subscribers. Somebody's watching this. And
nice.
I think like we're at 79 or something like that. So that's.
I think my mom's like 12 of those accounts.
Yeah,
so.
She
has a whole bunch of aliases.
Yeah, she's got some burner accounts out there. Our biggest fans are your mom and Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant still watches? Cool.
Yeah, Kevin Durant watches.
I didn't know that still.
Not the Kevin Durant of the NBA, this other guy that we went to middle school with.
There's a homeless guy on the street.
Give him an old lip poke. Anyway.
My brother.
Okay.
Be safe on your trip, man.
All right, buddy. You hear the music.
All right, brother. Love you.
All right, love you.
Where did you go, John Popper? Where did you go, John Popper? Where did you go?